This is genuinely the worst like leveling experience throughout any ARPG I have ever had.
Let me play the game! Let me fucking play the game! This is so fucking dumb!
The worst ARPG experience of my life.
You made the biggest piece of shit ever designed for AR. This game is currently worse than Wilson, Diablo 4, Diablo 9.
Hi there, I'm Renegade Pudge, and welcome to the inaugural episode of I Was Right, Booyah, Suck It, with Renegade Pudge. My previous video on this channel is a video called Path of Exile 2 is Bad, where I talk for 30 minutes about Path of Exile 2 being bad. You don't need to watch that video to understand this video, but just understand that that video I called Path of Exile 2 bad, complete with a music video, which is the best part of that video, so if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. It's a separate upload on my channel right now. Anyway, when I made that video, I got comments daily telling me that this was the stupidest, most wrong thing that's ever been said, and comments saying that I was completely right and hit the nail on the head on everything. So which is it? Am I a stupid, dumb YouTuber who got everything wrong? Or am I some sort of prophet that said everything correctly? Well, the answer is both. See, I am a stupid YouTuber who got a lot of things wrong. There are certain arguments in that video that I'm not gonna die on the hill on. The rune socket argument, so PoE2 removed the sockets from items and put sockets into their own system, a completely logical and good thing to do. And then, for no reason whatsoever, they re-added sockets to the game. And these sockets introduced the exact same issue that skill sockets did in PoE1. You get locked into an item now because of the sockets. Okay, I've heard you. I have heard you. I have heard you. I get that the rune socket argument wasn't the best. When I played through Path of Exile 2, I had issues getting Artificer Orbs, and yes, I did disenchant for Artificer Orb pieces, but overall, I just had rune issues through the campaign. And I'm not the only one, because even in Ziz's recent interview with the developers, he even mentioned that quite a few people do have this issue. But in that video, I claimed that the rune socket problem in Path of Exile 2 was similar to the gem socket problem in Path of Exile 1, which is really just a stupid comparison entirely. I've been playing back through Path of Exile 1 recently, and the gem problem is its entirely own thing, and it is terrible, and it is nowhere near as bad as the rune socket problem of PoE2, so I was just wrong there. But there are a lot of arguments that I will die on the hill on, like combat being unrewarding, boring, the game having a forced combo system, and incentivizing builds to the point where I don't feel like I'm building a build, but I'm rather playing a color by numbers child's game. Those things I will die defending that I was right on, and I was fully convinced that with GGG's next update, or future updates for PoE2, that they would make me look stupid and wrong, and I even said in the video that my video will probably age poorly. Hell, even while writing this, GGG has already patched out things that makes my video age a little poorly, and I'm sure in a year, this video will be irrelevant. But I could have never guessed in a million years that GGG would have made my video more correct. I cannot figure out how to hold this. This is surprisingly heavy. Normally I have a boom. This is terrible. I've had people coming into my comments regularly now saying that I need to update my video because it's more correct. Even content creators that really shit on my video and said things like this, they gutted so many things to make PoE2 that PoE2 is just a poor imitation of PoE1 right now. It's like if my blinker...
But no, it's not. You're in campaign. Campaign is the part where it's not a poor imitation. Endgame is.
wasn't working on my car and I took it into the shop, and they are now saying things like this.
This is genuinely the worst like leveling experience throughout any ARPG I have ever had.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. I'm not here today to gloat about why I was right, although I am. I'm also here to talk about the state of the game and how I feel about it. You see, I'm in a bit of an interesting situation here, because I am the OG, the original content creator hater for PoE2. People like to equate my video saying that I was backpacking off Ben, but our videos came out the same day, and my video took a month to make. On top of that, it took me a month to decide to even make the video, which is why the video came out so late. But I just want it to be known, I was the first person out here truly spreading hate about this game. I hated it before Reddit started hating it. I hated it before the Steam reviews started coming in that were negative. And I definitely was the first content creator to make a video saying that Path of Exile 2 sucked ass. I have a list. Things that suck about PoE2. Vendor farming? Vendor farming? Is that fun? Everything useful requires gold. Respeckling, gamble, vendor farming. No in-game loot filter. It is 2025 in the year of our Lord and Savior, and we still don't have an in-game loot filter. Identification scrolls? I mean, this goes right in with the loot filter. What the fuck is it? Is that fun? Is that fun? And they have a man in a cloak identifying items. Like, can you get more ripoff of Diablo 2? We get it. Okay, you like Diablo 2. So they have a dude in a cloak who says, stay a while and talk to me or some shit. I don't even fucking know. What do they call him? Like, Keckard Dane? Like, come on. Come up with your own fucking ideas, dude. Get rid of ID scrolls. Fucking stupidest shit in my life. So many useless travel nodes in the tree. I mean, come on. Like, the passive tree is terrible. The in-game meta build right now is attribute. It's not even the most popular build in the game right now is to not even use the passive tree in a game where their biggest selling point is the passive tree. I put my neck out there on the line and endured the hate of the internet and content creators shitting on me and calling me stupid. And now look who's stupid. We're all stupid because we trusted GGG. No, that's mean. That's mean. I'm not going to be mean today. I'm not here to be mean about GGG. I want to make that very clear. In my previous video, I made a joke at Jonathan's expense, the developer of PoE 2. It's like Chris had this dirty little secret of how to make his game succeed that he refused to give Johnny or whatever the fuck the PoE developer's name is. I refuse to refer to you on a first name basis. We are not that close. You are no Chris. And a lot of people didn't like my joke. They thought I was just unnecessarily attacking Jonathan. That was a joke. I didn't mean any actual shade at Jonathan. That whole video format was supposed to be in the vibe of old school video game rants, akin to Angry Video Game Nerd or Ego Raptor. And did I nail it? No, I'm still new at this whole YouTube thing. I'm still figuring out what works for me. But I had fun with it. And yes, I do hate the game. Nothing that came out of my mouth in that video was fake or fabricated. It's all how I feel 100%. But I just want it to be known that that joke I made about Jonathan, that was just a joke. I have no ill will towards GGG or towards Jonathan. I genuinely don't. In fact, I'm kind of coming around the bend now when I see how hateful people are towards Jonathan and GGG now. I don't think they deserve this much hate. Path of Exile 1 is an amazing game. It's my favorite game of all time. I'm absolutely in love with it. And I do think that GGG does deserve some credit where credit is due, that I still think that they will turn this around. Although their first patch is, oof, it's a doozy, and we're going to get into that, I still fully believe that GGG will turn PoE 2 around. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to shit talk it, because I just like shit talking stuff. I like expressing my opinions. That's what I'm here for. A lot of people said that it's unfair for me to criticize PoE 2 because it's in early access. Well, guess what? This is the perfect time to criticize PoE 2. There's no better time to criticize PoE 2 than when it is in early access. I'm not going to sit here and coddle the development team because I like them and tell them that their game is good. I'm not going to personally attack them either. I'm going to sit here and say, your game is dog shit until the game isn't dog shit. Real quick, by the way, my next video on this channel is going to be about PoE 1, and it is a huge project I am working on. I have hundreds of hours of footage, and it's going to be a completely new style of video I've never done. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to pull this off. It's not going to be me complaining, although there will be complaining in it. It's going to be more story-driven. It's going to be a whole new style of content for this channel, and I'm really hoping that's going to be good. I have really big plans for it. I haven't even started the editing process. I'm still getting the footage for it. But if you like PoE 1, and you want to see something new and fun from this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Do the things that the algorithm needs, because God, that video is probably going to take like 2 more months to get out. But I'm really hoping for big things. I need this. I need this to go good. Okay, that's it. I decided to make this video once I saw that Moist Critical was calling PoE 2 bad. Whether you watch Moist Critical or not, he has pretty much a universally accepted good take. I don't think I've ever seen him really have a bad take. I mean, look at his videos. They're almost entirely upvoted, and he doesn't seem to be influenced much by Reddit or Twitter. He really comes on there and just talks about the most random shit on his channel. Shit he really wants to talk about, and he doesn't seem influenced by other people. So when he, of all people, who really loves PoE 2 and isn't a content creator for it, and isn't short on content to make, made almost an entire video shitting on the PoE 2 season, that's when I knew that the PoE 2 bad crowd had hit mainstream. Back when I made my video, I was a hipster. I was the first person saying it. But now everybody's saying it. And I think we can all agree that right now, as of writing this video, PoE 2 is bad. And I don't care if patches come out before I get this video edited and made. As of right now, April 10th, PoE 2 is trash. But this is good. This is a starting point we can all agree on. Hell, even Zizarin had bad stuff to say about PoE 2 this season. And if you don't know, Zizarin is the main Path of Exile content creator, and he pretty much embodies the positivity in the community. He's very much kind of like a know-it-all, which is pretty much just PoE in a nutshell. You're not going to meet a PoE player that isn't a know-it-all, but he's nice about it. He's not a dick. He's not mean. He's like that nerd in class that was smarter than you and knew he was smarter than you, but he never really bragged about it. He just kind of lived knowing he was better. So when even Zizarin has some bad stuff to say, you know it's bad. Hell, even Mathel. And Mathel is the most contrarian motherfucker in the PoE community. If Reddit were to say anything, Mathel will act like the coolest guy and be like, yo, I don't like give a shit at all. I'm just over here. I don't give any fucking shits. I'm not even gonna record a video. I'm just gonna, Reddit's stupid, Twitter's stupid, the only person who's smart is me. That's Mathel. And yet even he just recently released a video talking about how he's disappointed in PoE 2. So fuck, if everybody's saying it, then I was right. Okay? I just want to make it known, I was right. Hi, Editing Page here. So I found out something interesting while I was editing. If you notice, if you look up across the border here, and you look down across the side over here, it's more like on this side, you will see there's a little black bar on the top and on the side. And yeah, that's because when I recorded this whole thing, I was in a wrong aspect ratio. So you might have not noticed it up until now. I probably could have gotten away without saying anything. But now that you've seen it halfway through the video, like what I just did, now you will not be able to unsee it. So enjoy that. So the first thing I want to talk about is many people in my first video said that the reason that I hated PoE 2 was because it was just genuinely a skill issue. I chose the wrong class, I chose the wrong build, I had a bad weapon, I played poorly, I didn't have boots with movement speed, and if I had any of those, I would have enjoyed the game more and not have had those gripes. Skimming over the fact that I also had a crossbow character that one-shot everything and I was still just as bored out of my mind, I did not mention that in the video because it didn't feel relevant, but let's just pretend that that's not the truth, and it is. And let's just assume that I was a dumb, no movement speed having warrior player the entire time I played. I'm about to double fist this thing. Well, now with this patch, everything has been nerfed down to dumb warrior, no movement speed, having boots bitch. And guess what everybody's reaction is? It's to be fucking pissed. So if your skill got nerfed and now you're playing a class that is not good and not powerful, my response to you is just play a different class. Get good. I don't know what you're complaining about. You just picked the wrong class. You see? You see how annoying that is? You see how much that sucks? In a genre entirely defined by freedom of choice and freedom of play, doesn't it suck to be told that, oh, you just chose the wrong class, that class doesn't work, you should have known better? See, when I did it, it was all of a sudden a sin. Everybody was commenting about how stupid I am. But now it's on the Reddit, it's on Twitter, content creators are saying it. If you chose the Amazon, tough shit, game sucks. You chose a myriad of other skills, tough shit, the game sucks. And I think people are starting to agree with me that, hey, this sucks because it does. So me and you, we're not that different. You may act high and mighty when your class is buffed, but guess what? Now that you're nerfed and you're just as shitty as I am, you're down here in the trenches bitching with me. Good. Let the dark side consume you. But now that you're in the trenches with me, now that you're a no good degenerate just like me, now we can finally agree on some things. Now that the honeymoon phase is over for you, you realize how shitty the campaign is. You realize how dreadfully long Act 3 is. And now there are some things that we can come to agree with as people that Path of Exile 2 needs to fix. And now that me and you have accepted it, GGG has no choice but to accept it. Which is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about GGG's design philosophy and their attitude going into this. People told me to give GGG time to cook, and I gave them time to cook. Not much, but I gave them time, and whew, look what they cooked for us. Now, I'll be willing to admit, this was probably just a misstep. Some things happen, some patches are bad, maybe next patch will be good. But I'm starting to think that PoE 2 being bad isn't a cooking issue, but it's a cook's issue. I want to talk about an interview today that Jonathan and Mark, the lead developers of Path of Exile 2, had with Zizarin. And in this interview, Jonathan was really defensive on a lot of parts. Honestly, it was kind of hard to watch at certain parts. There was a lot of tension in that room. At one point, Zizarin even had to interrupt Jonathan and said, "Can I finish?"
In the last interview I heard, it really sounded like the intention was to target things at the top end. But there were so many things that nerfed us during the campaign here. And
Well, the thing I would say about that.
I would like to finish.
And honestly, a lot of his attitude was, we know better, I know better, and it was really a bad look. Now, in Jonathan's credit, he did apologize by the end of the video and say that he was being defensive. He admitted it. And the patch that came out the next day was a lot of the things that Ziz brought up. I think that shows that they're listening, kind of, but I feel like that patch wasn't a patch to say, I'm sorry I did it. It was a patch to say, I'm sorry I got caught. If you understand what I'm saying, it's that you may feel like this patch was goodwill towards the community, and I'm sure it was, but this patch was like pulling teeth to get. We had to downvote it on Steam, we had to bitch about it on Reddit, make multiple videos, and then have an interview where Ziz called them out to their face on camera where they were defensive before we actually got any real change. Now, I do not envy Jonathan in this situation. God, it must really suck to put your heart and your soul into a game just for people to shit on it, and then you have to come onto an interview, and then you have to be called out in front of people live. I get why he was defensive. I really, really do. But I think that video points to a fundamental problem that Jonathan and the team have when making this game that I think needs to be pointed out, because I haven't seen anybody really pointing it out and talking about this thing specifically, because Jonathan very much has this attitude of, I know what's best, the community doesn't. And now, to be fair, gaming communities are very stupid, and every developer knows it, every gamer worth their salt knows it, that the community is stupid. Jonathan is right. What's that famous Henry Ford quote? If I asked gamers what they wanted, they would have asked for a faster controller. Jonathan very much has this feeling that the community doesn't know what they want, but he does. Which is why every time that we bring up something like, hey, the monsters are too fast, or hey, the maps are too big, their response is basically, yeah, get over it. Trust us. This is good. But the thing is, it's not good. Here's what Jonathan doesn't seem to understand. I think he's finally starting to get it, but it's kind of frustrating that it's taken this long to convince him that these parts of the games that's bad are bad. Hi, Editing Pudge here. So I found this clip. I was just rewatching through this interview, and I found this clip and I want to talk about it for a second. So I'm just going to let it play and then I'll say.
Even the second zone, like the first zone might be okay, but the second zone with the wolves, it's like pretty like instant, where I don't feel like I'm getting that like ARPG playstyle.
But won't we be hurting more players than we're helping with that?
By making
Like, won't
monsters
that
slower?
immediately make it? Yeah, won't that immediately mean that like a ton of players who actually enjoy the game because the combat is engaging immediately, like, what, doesn't it kill the game for them? Like what I'm saying is, like, it's easy to say like, oh, you make the game easier and everyone's happy, but it isn't the case. Like, a lot of people prefer the game to like actually have some challenge in it.
What's frustrating about this part of the interview is that Jonathan seems to kind of misunderstand the request of the community, and that is one thing that worries me. When I say that I want GGG to listen to the community, I mean I actually want them to listen and to understand what we're saying. See, there is this problem in game design where when somebody says something is bad, gamers a lot of times don't know the solution, but they're right that it's bad. We are right that the game feels bad and monsters feel too quick and it takes too long to set up a combo. And it's up to Jonathan and Mark to accept that that is 100% true because everybody's saying it. But they're kind of applying it to, oh, we want the game to be easier. And I don't think anybody is asking for PoE 2 to be easier. It's not the difficulty of the game, it's the tediousness of it. I really do think most players agree that it being difficult is part of its charm. I like the fact that it's difficult, but it feels unrewarding for how difficult it is, especially within the combos. I don't think anybody wants PoE 2 to be a one-button game like PoE 1 is, but the ironic part is PoE 1 actually has more intricate fighting styles than PoE 2 right now, because PoE 2 doesn't have rewarding combos to set up. It's all just that it feels bad, and that's why people keep pointing to lowering monster movement speed and increasing player action speed, because it would make the game feel better. I don't know if that's the solution. I genuinely don't know. But I really want Jonathan and Mark to actually research this and understand what the community is saying, that we are not asking for the game to be easier. And I'm worried that they're going to respond in a way that kind of takes the wrong point from what we're saying. We don't want it easier. I think everybody agrees that we don't want the game to be easier, but we want it to be more fun. And as of right now, it being unrewarding and difficult isn't fun. So just that, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. So back to current me. See, we're not just some random group of idiot people asking for something. Me and you, if you're here watching this video, you play ARPGs. I highly doubt that you only play PoE 2. You probably play PoE 1, Last Epoch, Diablo 4. I play all of those major ARPGs. So I know the genre. I am the target audience. So if I'm telling you your game sucks, there's a good chance that your game sucks. I'm not just some random person. It's not like if I played The Sims and now that everybody's saying it, finally GGG are listening that, hey, some things we've done have sucked and we need to fix those. But why did it take this long? Why was it like pulling teeth to get here? I think the answer is that Jonathan and the team think they know better. Because they do. And that's the problem. They've made Path of Exile 1 for so long that they think they know better because they do know better. They know how to develop a game. But the thing is, they're not developing Path of Exile 1. They're developing Path of Exile 2. I can't play Factorio anymore because back in the day I put a few hundred hours into Factorio. I got to like near end game type stuff. So the natural progression of Factorio is that you start out with 5 smelters and 5 drills and you build up from there until you have 10 smelters and 10 drills and so on and so forth. But because I know how Factorio gets in the end game, when I start playing Factorio from the beginning, I immediately plan out where to put my hundreds of drills and hundreds of smelters. And because of it, my resources actually run really dry because I'm not playing the game the way it's intended. I'm playing the game towards the end game. But you can't just build for the end game. You have to understand that there's a natural progression to the way that the game needs to be played. And if you don't do it, you're going to hurt yourself. Because of it, it's very hard for me to play Factorio again. I feel like this is exactly how the team is when they're making PoE 2. They have seen the end of an ARPG, PoE 1. Not the end as in it's dying or anything, but the end as in it is in its nearly finished form. It's been around for over a decade, and it is a well-polished, well-furnished piece of machinery. And they made that happen. And now when they start PoE 2, they're already taking into account things that they've learned from PoE 1 to try and apply it to PoE 2. Jonathan, for a lot of the interview, said things like, oh, we don't want to make monsters too fast because the people will run past monsters like they did in PoE 1. Why are you worried about that? You're worried about what people do in PoE 1 not influencing what people do in PoE 2? Jonathan, you're not making PoE 1. You're making PoE 2 a completely new game. If everybody wants the monsters to be slower, make the monsters slower. Not to mention that mindset is kind of worrying. In GGG's past, I've heard them say in many interviews very smart things like, if a player is running past something, then that means that we didn't incentivize them enough to stop. I've heard this many times with things like Harvest where you had to stop. And there was a lot of questions between where's the limit between making a player stop to do something and making it rewarding enough that it's worth stopping. This is like a legitimate ARPG question that PoE 1 has because a lot of mechanics make you stop to some extent. And yet in PoE 2, Jonathan has kind of gone back to step 1 where he's like, if you could just outrun monsters, you're just going to do it. Then make the monsters rewarding. Make the combat feel good. This is such a weird and backwards argument I don't understand. If you have to force us to interact with your ARPG, then it's not a good ARPG. But completely skipping over that, it seems like Jonathan is worried about making Path of Exile 1. Every step of the way, it seems like he's like, oh, well, we don't want to do this because PoE 1 has that bloat, or PoE 1 has this issue, or we didn't want it to be like PoE 1. Stop worrying about making PoE 1. You're not making PoE 1. This isn't PoE 1. And yet, it seems like so much of the development team is afraid of those same pitfalls when they don't realize that PoE 1 isn't a pitfall. In so much of that interview, they referred to PoE 1 as being bad, as like, oh yeah, PoE 1 is like this cautionary tale of what you don't want to do in ARPGs. But PoE 1 is the best ARPG in the world right now. I don't know why you're afraid to be like it. Like, I get you don't want that sort of bloat and that sort of speed, but it seems like so many of their decisions, they're just like worried, like, oh yeah, we don't want to be PoE 1. But like, what's wrong with that? It makes me worried that they look at this old game that they have and they say, oh, that game sucks. We need to make the new version better. And it's like this typical That's So Raven moment where they saw the future where PoE 2 looked like PoE 1 and then frantically tried to make it not happen. And then the more they frantically try to make it not happen, the more it happens. So this is my advice to Jonathan and the team. Fucking quit it. Just stop. Cut it out. Okay? No, but seriously, I really do think that the team needs to have just a meeting where they reevaluate their core vision, and they need to understand what PoE 2 is in what they're making, not what PoE 2 isn't. Because if I hear one more time that they look down on PoE 1 and their negativity towards PoE 1, yo, PoE 1 is a great game. What is wrong with y'all? As well as working with the community, which they seem to not trust us at all and seem to think that we're just stupid. I mean, this is just a classic case of Hotel Transylvania. Right now, GGG is being Adam Sandler's version of Dracula, and he's like, "Hey, Mavis, I do not want you to go outside the castle because it's dangerous, and I do not trust you, and blah, 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 I know better, blah." And Mavis is like, "But Dad, I need to go out and explore the world because I'm an adult now, and why does the internet sexualize me so much? I'm like 18, that's weird, right? That's weird." And was Adam Sandler's version of Dracula bad in that? I mean, not acting-wise, but was he bad morally? No. He was considered, you know, he was just like, oh, he's just too passionate. He's just too, he needs to let his daughter go and trust him. That's GGG. You need to let us go. You need to trust us. That we do have some good ideas. That the enemies are too fast. Taking combos takes too long to set up and is unrewarding. And the maps are too fucking large. I swear, if I see one more goddamn message from y'all saying, oh, the maps in Act 3 are fine. They're not bad at all. God damn it. GG, you're not the bad guys. Okay? I'm just gonna extend an olive branch, okay? Now that everybody's hating on you, I don't gotta do it, okay? You know what you did. Extending an olive branch. The community does know what we're talking about because we played ARPGs. We played your other game for 10 years. I know what I'm talking about. So get your heads out of your asses, okay? Get off your high horse. Yeah, you know how to make a good game, but you don't know how to make Path of Exile 2 because you haven't made it. So you need to come to the community with an open mind. And listen to us. Genuinely listen. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to see PoE 2 be in a good state because apparently PoE 1 aren't getting their developers back until it's done. So get your shit together, Jonathan. Get your shit together, team. Okay? That's about it. I don't need to sit here and stomp on PoE 2's grave because a lot of people have already done it. But I will dance on it.
Oh shit, here we go again. Renegaded paid with another. You know I had to come back. Could've said I just say nothing. Oh shit, here we go again. PoE 2 just got updated. It's sure to be a win, so let's jump on to patch 2.0 to see what it's like. Oh no, this is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. I told you once and now I'll tell you twice. PoE 2 is bad, don't make me say it thrice. This game is a slow chore and a slog. Feels like my character is running through a bog. I told you once and now I'll tell you again. PoE 2 is trash, so let the hate begin. This game isn't fun and it's slow as well. Feels like I'm in the Sif circle of hell. Oh no, you guys were absolute fools to think GGG would fix all these rules. They've told you up front what is their main mission. It's to keep to the ultimate vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. I told you once and now I'll tell you twice. PoE 2 is bad, don't make me say it thrice. This game is a slow chore and a slog. Feels like my character is running through a bog. No crafting, no blasting, bad mapping, expensive recombinating. It's a bore, it's a chore. This campaign I abhor. Can barely kill white mobs anymore. Complaining, we're waiting. GGG is blaming players for not relating to their mission. We're missing their decision to achieve their one true vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. This is the vision. PoE 2 is bad. Oh, PoE 2 is bad. Whoa, PoE 2 is bad. Oh, PoE 2 is bad. Whoa. I told you once and now I'll tell you twice. PoE 2 is bad, don't make me say it thrice. This game is a slow chore and a slog. Feels like my character is running through a bog. I told you once and now I'll tell you again. PoE 2 is trash, so let the hate begin. This game isn't fun and it's slow as well. Feels like I'm in the sixth circle of hell.